Hello there, Heaven here. I am here to remind you of something, to reinforce something that you already know. You are a winner. That's what you are. And what do winners do? They win. Not against other people, really against yourself, against the possibilities. You rise again and again and again and again. And there is nothing that happens outside of you that will ever change that. People around you might not understand that. They might try to convince you that you're worse off than you are. We call that discouraging. But we don't encourage those that discourage us. And you're perceptive. You're discerning. Even when you don't say anything, you're able to see all the subtle, the subliminals, the subtle jabs, the intention to pull you in a disempowering direction. You can see all these things a mile away. The people around you may not know that you see them, but you do. Because you're a winner. The thing that's different about you is that when you find yourself under pressure, you're able to transform it, to transmute it. See, other people look for outward validation. They need other people to lift them up. And that's why when you're down, people intentionally don't lift you up. They tell you, oh, I wish there was something I could do to help you, hoping that you'll fall, because they need outward validation and the support. So they imagine you do too. But what they don't know is that you've got something else on your side. The universe, spirit, God, whatever you call it. So when you're discouraged, it encourages you. People say, maybe you should just quit. You know, when I used to give tours, I used to do walking tours. I did the math. It was something like 400 times 30. What is that, 12,000? Am I doing that math right? Whatever that number is, that's how many people I met in a year. I mean, one-to-one handshake, hello, how are you? And I spent about an hour with them. They were in groups. I didn't meet them all individually because that would be insane, time-wise. And the thing that was interesting about it was that everybody, almost everybody, like 75% of people said the same things. I mean, like a script. And you might say, well, of course people are going to say no. No. I mean, it was shocking. It was like doing a study. People just had the same script. It was word for word for word for word. The way they would respond to things, the jokes they would make. It was like, wow. It honestly made me look at life differently. It was like, who am I? Am I following a script? Because these people don't know that. They don't know that every other person, that you've met 12,000 other people, number one. And they don't know that everybody's saying the exact same things, the exact same way. There's no originality to it. And that's not a jab at them. It's just unconscious living. And the reason I mention that is because the people that discourage you don't know that they too are following a script, one that you've heard before, word for word. And so when you encounter them, they think they're having an effect on you. They think the things that they're doing are hurting you, that it's getting to you, but they don't know. You've seen this up close in intense situations again and again and again. So no, you're not hurt. If anything, they have revealed themselves to you because they are now speaking from that script. And you go, this is what we're doing. And it's okay that they underestimate you. And they're going to talk about you. They're going to go to other people and go, oh, and they're going to try and spread a negative energy around you, a disempowered energy around you. Somebody who wants you to succeed does not have a disempowering narrative about you. They don't say, oh, you're depressed. They say, get up. They don't say, oh, times are tough. They say, this is nothing. To me, it always goes back to two scenarios. One being a coach and the other being like a war general, which is like really oddly specific, the war general one. But the reason I say that is because when you think about it, if you're an athlete and you're talking to your coach, you know what your coach isn't going to say? Oh, well, maybe you're down, you're depressed. Maybe there's nothing you can do. No, they're not. They are going to say, get it together. It's okay. Yeah, this thing happened. Blah, 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 blah. But they're going to say, get it together. Get up. You can do this. You are a winner. Let's go. They're not going to say, oh, I wish there was a way I could help you. They're going to be like, we can get through this. I remember. There was this woman, it was a TED Talk. And she had this experience where, this was a very unique experience, but just come on this trip with me. She was in college and she suddenly started hearing voices, right? She started hearing voices in her head and they were telling her to do things. And they were telling her pretty much, the idea was if you don't do these things, you're going to be in danger. Something's going to happen to you. So after a while, she was like, oh my God, I think I have to do them. And they were always harmless things, relatively. Like throw this glass of water on that person. Anyway, this escalates. She gets expelled from the university. She loses all her friends. She doesn't know what she's going to do. She's trying to figure this out. Doctors are like, whatever. And she talks about the thing that turned it was one moment that turned everything around for her. And it was a friend. She eventually ended up living with this friend. She had lost everything, And, she was talking to the friend, I don't know. And the friend said, we're going to get through this. And she was like, whoa, prior to this, everyone was like, this thing's happening to you. And this was the first time that somebody was like, I'm with you, pretty much. And it was so shocking to her. And I think we've all been in situations like that, where maybe not exactly like this, but just a wording of something slightly different and you realize what you've been being told the whole time because you're hearing something different. Anyway, from that point on, she actually, I wasn't going to mention this part. What she actually did was the next time she heard the voices, she told the voices, oh, don't worry. We're going to get through this. Watch. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you that there's nothing to worry about. Because everything that the voices were trying to tell her, like, oh no, you have to. She would not do the thing and she'd say, watch, nothing's going to happen. So they're like, if you don't run out the room right now, something's going to happen. So she wouldn't run out the room. She'd be like, we're going to get through this, to the voices. And then after she sat there, nothing happened. She would say, see, I got you. She's saying this to the voices. And over time, it stopped completely. Right? And this all started from the encouragement of somebody else, which is apparently what she needed at the time. Someone else who was encouraging her, and not only encouraging her, but suggesting that she was not alone. Do you know what I mean? And I'm making that analogy, to the coach thing. That's what a coach also does. A coach is like, let's go. I'm with you. You've got this. I'm here with you. I will practice with you every day from da 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 da. Get up. People in your life who don't want you to succeed subliminally, they're not saying those things to you. They're not saying, okay, we can figure something out. You're down. Don't worry, there's resources. We can figure it out. I probably know somebody who they're not saying those things because they don't want you to succeed. If they did want you to succeed, guess what? They would. Because the truth is, we're all connected. Everybody knows someone who knows someone, even if it's not money or whatever the thing is. Sometimes it's just support. Sometimes it's opportunity. Sometimes it's somebody who knows something. All you have to do is ask. It's free to ask people stuff. You know how many times I've heard someone, they don't even ask me. I hear them saying like, oh, you know, this is what's going on. I immediately go ask someone that I know in that field. I'm like, what do you know about this? And I connect them. There are connectors in life and there are gatekeepers, right? And it's the same thing. Now I'm making another analogy, but this is just about the fact that you're a winner. Remember, this is what we're getting back to. This is the foundation of what we're talking about today. You are a winner, right? And you recognize those that discourage you. And you're not discouraged. And it's because you know what the script looks like. You're also someone, you're a loving person with good intentions. You have a good heart. Not only are you like, do you do your best to make yourself better, but you also pour into other people. You pour into people around you. And because you pour into the people around you, you are often encouraged by others because other people see you. Now, this is something that not everyone experiences. You have this favor. This is unfamiliar to other people. And because you have this favor, you know what it looks like when someone's really in your court. Because strangers have been in your court, the most unsuspecting people, a teacher, some person who you don't even necessarily work with, but that you pass all the time at work. Something happens and it's these people that pour into you. You know what it looks like. And the people around you who are pretending to be for you, but you can tell, you can perceive are discouraging you, they don't know what this looks like. This is why they imagine they're affecting you. Because they're operating on a 3D level. That's how they've gotten everything that they've gotten. That's why they're miserable. They don't know spirit. They don't know the universe. They don't know God. They know despair and negativity. And you can see it all over them. So they think that these methods are getting to you, but they are not. All these things that they're doing are letting you know who they are. Because they're smiling in your face. They have some title in your life that suggests that they care. But the truth is, they do not. They are revealed. They reveal themselves. And you silently observe. Another thing I go back to, that other analogy that I've been taking forever to get back to this whole time. The war general, right? And again, we're making these analogies to talk about times when maybe you're going through something. Through. Right? A soldier runs up to the war general or whatever, colonel, and was like, sir, you know, this is happening. They're attacking over on this side. You know what that war general's not going to do? Oh, well, I don't know what to tell you. Right? You're phoning into the colonel. You're like leading some group. We're in trouble. Oh, Well, I'm sure you'll figure it out. I wish there was some way I could help you. They're not going to do that. The war general is going to be like, get it together. You're good on your feet. This is the plan. We're going to make a plan. Even if I can't physically get to you, there is a plan. I am going to communicate something to you. Some words of encouragement. What do you have around you? What do you see? What can you find? They're going to speak into you because they want you to survive. And when people in life want you to survive, that's what they do. They don't try to bring you down when you're in a vulnerable situation. They don't try to make you believe you're worse off than you are. Those are people who are trying to discourage you. And you already know the difference. Because you have that inner strength. Because you've been through things like this before. That's why you're not even truly vulnerable. You're just in a particular situation, and through the situation, you're now given the opportunity to discern, to better understand the people around you. Now, this leads me to my next point. Sometimes you think you're going through something. You think, oh my gosh, what's happening? The money, I'm in the, what? But what you don't know is the universe, life, God is using you. You're either an opportunity or a temptation for the people around you. It's not even really about you. The universe knows you're okay. And deep down, you know you're okay. Even if you might temporarily be like, you know what? I have had enough of this. You know it's temporary because you've gotten through thing after thing after thing. You've seen how blessed you are. You've seen yourself in crazy situations and things miraculously just go. Not everybody has seen that because they don't believe the same way you believe. So sometimes life puts you in these situations to give people that choice, opportunity or temptation. Now, what do I mean by that? Opportunity or temptation. When I was in Mexico City, I remember every time I had this housemate, and every time someone came over to us when we were like out at lunch or out on a walk or something like that, and someone asked us for money, the person would always say, gracias. And I would think to myself, the person, like my friend, and they're asking us for money. And I would always think to myself, like, why are you saying gracias? And they were saying, I'm saying gracias por la oportunidad. I'm saying thank you for the opportunity to help you. You know what I mean? They're saying thank you for the opportunity to help you. It's an opportunity. It's an opportunity for them to be a giver, to show up for other people, to earn good karma, and not earn good karma in a deserving way, but like in a mathematical equation way. When you give to someone in situations of need where you feel called to, what you're saying is, I have enough to give to you. And that just reinforces that you have enough. Opportunity. Opportunity versus temptation. If people are not willing to take the opportunity, they're often tempted to take advantage of you, to put you down, to say that they can't show up for you. And it's not always about money. Again, we've talked about this before. There's a million different ways to encourage someone, to pour into someone. It doesn't have to do with money. That temptation is to say, oh, you know, when they say, oh, there's nothing I can do. And just like when someone takes the opportunity and says, I'm going to pour into you. And it reinforces the idea that they have enough to pour into you. It tells the universe, oh, this person is saying, I have a lot. I'm abundant. So let's make them more abundant. And when someone feeds into the temptation and they're like, oh, there's nothing I can do, the universe answers that same thing. This person says they don't have anything to give. Let's make sure that's true. Opportunity versus temptation. And these things will show up in their lives later. So going back to connect all the dots, again, sometimes when you think you're going through something, you're not. You're just being used. The universe is like, you're going to be okay. You're favored. You are blessed. You're learning a bunch of stuff in this thing. You're going to overcome it. You have the mindset for this. You're just picking up a bunch of tools. And we're using this opportunity for you. Learn these lessons while at the same time letting us know who people are. Not as punishment, it's literally opportunity. Let us know who they are. We're going to put you on these people's paths. We're going to see how they handle you. We're going to see the energy they give you. We're going to see how they talk about you. We're going to see, are they going to try and take advantage of you? Are they going to, when you talk about something that's going on in your life, are they going to laugh in your face? Are they going to wait for you to get comfortable so they can start talking to you negatively because they believe you have nowhere else to go and you're going to take it? Is that what they're going to do? That's what God, the universe, life is out to discover. So you think you're going through something, but you're on tour. That's what we're going to call it. You're on tour. You're going around city to city, letting the universe look through your eyes and see what's really going on. And so you're not discouraged. You are not discouraged. Not to mention, I'm going to wrap this up in a moment. Not to mention that in every disempowering situation or experience you have, there is some seed of strength within it. Right? Let's say that you have a lot of experiences with narcissism, with narcissistic people, I should say. While it might be painful, unpleasant, unwanted, the truth of the matter is, in each instance, you are learning something. You're learning something about the way people are. You're learning something about the tactics that people use. You are learning. And you're becoming stronger. And these lessons, these things that you learn, are going to make things that early on in life were pitfalls. You fell and you were broken slightly, injured, and you were like, and took you so long to recover. After all these lessons, one, you avoid half of these traps altogether. And two, even if you do fall in, you bounce back. Because you know what it is. You know, it's like an analogy is, I remember Beyonce, I believe it was in her Renaissance documentary concert film. She was talking about Blue being on stage and performing, and then finding out about the negative comments online about her and how she had tried to protect her from those. And part of the reason that she was trying to protect her from them was because, you know, Beyonce has been doing all of this for, what is it, like 30 years or something like that, right? So she knows the mental jujitsu. She has the confidence. She has been through the ringer. So she's in the public eye and these things come up. They don't affect her in the same way. Because she has been through it. She knows what it is. She knows it's a tactic, or it's a projection, or it's a whatever. And Blue does not. Or maybe she does. But the point was, she doesn't have that experience. And all of these situations that you're going through, they're giving you that experience. And in the future, or maybe even today, people are going to wonder how you deal with things so well, how you show up with so much grace, how your posture is straight up in the face of adversity, how you dust it off your shoulder like it's nothing. And it's because, baby, this is not your first rodeo. You were just on tour helping the Grim Reaper, or what is the Egyptian god that weighs your spirit against the feather? What's that god's name? Somebody put that in the comments. You are helping that person discover where someone stands. They put you out there, put you in a vulnerable position because they knew that you would bounce back. They know you're on a bigger mission. You need the lesson anyway, right? Two souls, one experience. You get the reference. Let's knock the two things out at once. This person needs a lesson. This person, we need to test their karma. Here, boom, put them in a situation together. Okay, you get the lesson, and now we discover where this person's heart posture is. So again, do not be discouraged. You're not. I'm telling you not to be discouraged, but I already know that you're not discouraged because this is who you are. You can see these things a mile away. And remember, at the end of the day, now you know who these people are in your life. And a lot of times, you have these experiences before you have a really big win. Before like a major success.
Happy holiday, man.
Happy holidays. Before you have a major win. Because now you know.